Welcome to this edition of the Premier Post Minute with our very special guest, who I have read his articles in the Business Journal since the late 90s.
I love that.
He is known as the king of sales and has been helping people succeed since 1988. His sales training programs are top notch, and his sales consulting and training and coaching and more. He has written 16 best-selling books, including The Little Red Book of Selling and his latest book, Get Shit Done. It is my pleasure to welcome our special guest, Jeffrey Gitomer.
Thank you, AJ. And it's my pleasure to be virtually in Milwaukee.
Yes, yes.
Are you actually in the city or are you in one of the suburbs?
I'm in a suburb.
Got it.
So I'm a little bit outside, about 25 miles outside of Milwaukee.
Hopefully, so all roads lead to Green Bay, don't they? In Milwaukee, they're all
yes.
Like
Title town.
The epicenter of the state.
Yes, yes. Well, let's start. Where did you grow up?
I grew up in Atlantic City, New Jersey, and then Woodbury, New Jersey, and then Haddonfield, New Jersey, and then Cherry Hill, New Jersey, and then Berwyn, Pennsylvania. I'm a Philly boy who was raised very close to Philadelphia all of his life, went to Temple University, lived on what's called the Main Line, had a plant in Phoenixville. I'm Philly all the way. And in fact, somebody sent me a mask. Is that crazy or what? So not only...
Some Packer fans are not going to be happy. They're going to remember that.
Well, I don't really care. I don't really care. I'm going to take, we're going to the beach this weekend. I'm going to wear this on purpose. Like, I don't like to wear a mask, but if you have to, you have to. And at least I'll be able to piss off a few people.
Yes, yes. Well, we've talked in the past about your passion for manufacturing. Does this come from growing up with your family business?
Yes. From the time I can remember, literally the time I can remember, my family was a manufacturing family. My dad made metal parts for the government. He had a machine shop. We did kitchen cabinets for multifamily dwellings and individual kitchens, countertops. So I was always in manufacturing. And my very first business, I manufactured beanbag chairs, leisure furniture.
Oh, okay.
And I've also manufactured imprinted sportswear from the yarn up. So I'm attuned to making something and finishing something, printing it or boxing it or something, and then selling it to someone who sells it at retail or uses it for some corporate promotion.
Awesome. Well, a lot of my customers right now are either doing really well or they're struggling, and each for many different reasons, especially in this period of uncertainty. That's why I was excited to do this interview with you, kind of to talk to our customers, offer them some help on that. I know you've spoken in the past about helping customers instead of selling to customers. Can you explain a little bit?
My whole philosophy of sales, number one, is to help people buy, to find out why they would buy and then help them buy. So I sell to help. I don't sell for my numbers. I don't have a quota. I somehow have exceeded my quota for my whole life by never having one.
Yeah.
But that's another story. I sell what I love. I sell what I believe in. And that helps me put together a program that makes people want to buy. And you know, in a tough time, I'm sure you know, my friend Daniel Burris told me, in times of uncertainty, document what you're certain of.
Yep.
And I'm certain I can help other people. I'm certain of it. I've done it for years and decades.
Okay.
So I'm taking that help and I put it together in a program that somebody can listen to or watch. There's no slides necessary, so that they can feel good about who they're becoming. That's the whole deal. How do you emerge from this mess?
Yep.
because a lot of people are way underwater, way under the weather, just way, way under where they were. The people that are going great guns, they're fine.
Yeah.
If you're in the grocery store business, you're fine. If you have a drugstore, you're fine. If you have a hospital, you're fine.
Right.
But if you're a retailer and you've been shut down by the government, you may not be fine.
Right.
You may be hurting. And if you're making things for a retailer, then all of a sudden your supply chain is at zero.
Right. Right.
And you're stuck with a bunch of inventory. You don't know what the hell to do with it.
Right.
And you call your insurance agent and you don't have business interruption insurance for a pandemic.
Right. Right. Well, and most of our customers, the manufacturers, they were essential business. So they were open to stay in business. But how do you see the world changing do you see more focus on made in the USA?
Absolutely. There's going to be a manufacturing resurgence in this country, the likes of which we have never known in our lifetimes.
Okay.
Because we've seen it. So I was a kid in the 50s. Manufacturing was always here, and then it went here, 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 and finally it's even off the chart. And now it's like kind of here. Mm-hmm. So it's going to go back to here. And the question is, what will you manufacture? What will you emerge? Made in USA is going to become a prime label over the course of the next foreseeable future, decade for sure.
Yep.
And so the question is, how are you going to take advantage of it? And you're in a business where if you're manufacturing machines or you're selling something that will help productivity, you're going to win. You're going to win.
Yeah, definitely. What impact do you see with this new normal as far as face-to-face sales calls and how the sales process is going to work here moving forward?
Well, let's look at us. Could you have envisioned this over the course of the last 40 or 50 years?
No.
Exactly. And all of a sudden you're like a TV star, correct?
I don't know about that.
Well, but look at it this way. You would have never gone this far virtually were it not for the pandemic.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it's successful for you. You're getting traction. People are watching you. Mm-hmm. And it started literally by force.
Right.
I mean, you can come into it kicking and screaming, and many people do, but the bottom line is that virtual is pretty much here to stay.
Yeah.
And it's not going anywhere. And the people who you call on, if you have ever driven 250 miles to a customer to sell a machine, my bet is that half of those meetings can now be done virtually or more.
Yep, I would agree.
More.
I would agree.
And you send them their coffee and then drink it with them. You send them their lunch and then eat it with them. But you can do your machine demo right in front of them.
Yeah.
And I think that you're looking at this from the perspective of, and you're progressive at it, and I really respect that. There are people that are in your business that still haven't turned on their computer. They're waiting for this to be over so they can go back to the way it was. And the rude awakening is it is never going back to the way it was.
Right. I agree.
You're going to eat in a restaurant differently. Last night, I went 2 nights ago. I've eaten out twice so far.
Okay.
I went to 2 of my old favorites here in Charlotte to give them money more than anything. Some guy walks in with a mask. I go, dude, how are you going to eat? Like, just think about it for just a second. A, it's useless. B, it's useless. And C, you're going to have a real tough time eating with the mask on.
Right. Definitely.
But look, it is what it is. People are afraid for one reason or another. I am not. I'm cautious, but I'm not afraid.
Right.
And even in this time where, we've had a bit of a societal upheaval, I'm still not afraid.
Right.
maybe I grew up in a different era. I grew up in, in the 60s, and it was a different time, but
Right.
I come from the city of brotherly love, and I'm proud of it.
It's good.
And we practice what we preach sometimes.
Too funny. Well, what's the best advice your father gave you that is still relevant today?
My dad was wise, and
Okay.
he got it predominantly from his dad. But if I throw a couple of things at you that fatherly advice, this is the cool part. I'm going to tell you what my dad taught me.
Okay.
And you're going to immediately think about what your dad taught you. And anybody watching is going to think about what their dad or even their mom taught them that has stuck with them over the years.
Yep.
We were driving to school one day, and somebody cut off my father. It was raining, and the guy started beeping at my dad, thinking it was his fault. And my father rolled down his window and screamed some expletive at the guy, and rolled up the window very nonchalantly, turned to me and said, "I don't get ulcers, son. I give them." But that's New Jersey. That's Philadelphia.
Right. Right.
He taught me the secret of upselling. He said, "Son, when their wallet's open, empty it."
Okay.
He taught me a secret of negotiation. Don't ever offer anything you wouldn't take yourself.
Mm.
What a brilliant hunk of information.
Right.
You can use literally forever.
Yeah. Wow. That's good.
So you think about your dad, and you think about him often, and often his ideas or your mom's ideas will pop into your head when you're in a given situation.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Sometimes afterwards, when it's a little bit too late, when I wish I would have said or I wish I would have done. But the bottom line is it stays with you. So what I would recommend to people is capture the wisdom of your parents while they're alive, if they still are. If they passed on, write it down in a Word doc or save it some way. Like every time you think of something that your dad or mom said, put it down in a document. I have several documents that I've saved of father's wisdoms and mother's wisdoms and things I've saved about them. And I don't, every time I get a thought, boom, I document it down, or a story that I remember.
Yeah. Yeah.
He was describing, I had a partner, we did consulting in the 70s in textile screen printing, where we left, and we would go around to people's factories and fix them.
Okay.
And my father was talking to some guy, did not realize that I was in earshot, but he was talking about having me and my partner be in front of them to help their business. He says, "You're going to love these guys. They piss ice water." And I couldn't have got a better compliment.
Right.
I could not have gotten a better compliment. So think about how your parents described you.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool.
It is. It is. Well, with that said, what's your best philosophy you would say to manufacturers who are trying to figure out what to do now?
Well, if you're a manufacturer, it means you have customers.
Mm-hmm.
I would call them, and this, by the way, all of this information is in the New Normal course, which is in the chat.
Mm-hmm.
thenewnormalcourse.com. Call your customer and find out what's been going on. What have they been experiencing over the past couple of months?
Mm-hmm.
Because for some people, they're having the best time they've ever had. And for some people, they've had a death in the family.
Right, right.
You better know which one is which. That's number one. Number two, when they begin to tell you what's been happening, you take notes.
Mm-hmm.
So that you don't forget what's been happening with them, and like a fool, ask the same question again, because you're going to be calling a lot of people.
Right.
So you take notes to document. Then you're going to say to them, listen, Mr. Jones, machines aside, what do you need the most right now?
Mhm.
How can I help you the most right now? And you're going to document that. Well, when you find out what's been going on and you document what they need or what they want the most, that's going to share with you the opportunity to generate an idea or spot a trend
Mm.
of how you can help them.
Yep.
You now have the written notes. All you have to do now is make some kind of a game plan, a small game plan, and take action.
Yeah.
This is so unknown. And, you know, people are, well, here's how to sell in a pandemic. Dude, you don't sell in a pandemic.
Right.
People will buy in a pandemic. And they'll buy
Mhm.
in such great quantities that it'll cause a great toilet paper shortage.
Well, yeah, and I've been seeing people all of a sudden discounting, and I'm like, I don't understand that part, you know?
When I
How do you
see
know they
lowest
want it?
prices ever, I delete it.
Yeah. Doesn't make sense.
So that's a formula for taking the customer's needs and helping fulfill them.
Yeah.
And I can promise you this, AJ, when the dust settles and people begin to need product again, you're
Mhm.
going to be the first person they think of. You're going to be top of mind for actually doing something that was helpful instead of trying to make a sale.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it's important to be able to help them. Well, tell me a little bit about your new normal course and how it can possibly help some people that maybe haven't heard about it yet.
I'm on Facebook Live every morning at 9:59 a.m. I invite everyone to just come on to my public page. Come on at 9:59 any morning, and you'll see what other people are saying about this new normal course. They're having masterminds about it. They're having Zoom meetings about it because it comes with a Facebook group that's private. So all of these people that are on fire see one another. And they talk to one another, and they'll have coffee with one another, and they'll talk about how they're implementing module 1. There's 7.5 modules,
No.
all video. There's not one slide in the whole thing on purpose, because I don't need you to have to sit down. I want you to listen to this on the go as you're doing something and be able to implement it on the spot.
Right.
There's going to be bonuses. The biggest bonus is the Facebook group. But there'll be other bonuses from interviews that I've conducted and other videos that I've made. I just made 2 yesterday that people email me and said, hey, would you talk about this? I go, sure. And you're going to need new stuff. Look what you've invested in yourself, AJ.
Yep.
You have your AnyVoo behind you. You have invested in software or hardware to be able to make yourself look a little prettier, which is very difficult. You have,
exactly.
You got a haircut for the occasion, which I'm very proud of you for.
Yeah.
But in the end, you're a person who's looking to help.
Yeah.
And you're adamant about taking steps to be able to make that happen.
Mm-hmm.
It feels good, doesn't it?
It does. It does. Feels like the right thing to do, though.
Of course it does.
Yeah.
And so your challenge is to keep learning. And if people right now are in a quandary. They don't know what the hell to do. They're looking for answers. Well, my course provides answers. The answers that people are looking for, both short-term and long-term. I don't like to use the word solution because it seems like it takes too long to implement. An answer is something, boom. You know, when you take a test, they weren't looking for they weren't looking for a solution for your algebra. They were looking for an answer.
Right.
You had to solve the problem, but you entered an answer, not a solution. And people are looking for answers.
Right. Well, as a
Especially
solution
now.
provider, though, I'm providing answers is the best way to help them do that. Because you're right. A solution can be long-term.
Way too long, sometimes a year or two.
Yeah.
And the solution is usually the end product, but the help that you give them along the way to make the decision, that's an answer.
Right. Right.
And that's the whole deal.
Right.
You're involved with people who are looking for an answer. And I, in the newnormalcourse.com, I provide that. Now, I'll share two things with you.
Sure.
I wanted to make it inexpensive so that anybody who was struggling at the moment could buy it. So I made it for 2 payments of $97, pretty cheap.
Yep.
Until Tuesday night at midnight. Then it goes to $494. And it will go there for about 2 weeks, and then it's going to go to $997.
Okay.
The course is too valuable. It's a $10,000 course. Somebody posted in my chat today that the Facebook group alone is worth 100 times the price of the course.
Okay, that's good.
Because you're dealing with other people who are also looking for answers, who are on fire and willing to share.
Yeah.
Imagine being in a group with a few hundred people that want to talk to you, that want to connect with you, that want to help you. And they're doing it in a way that's just remarkable. I've never seen anything like it in Facebook, and neither has anyone in that group.
Yep.
It's a bunch of on fire people. It's so cool.
Well, I'm in the second module, taking it slow, trying to really implement and work on the stuff. It's been fabulous. And the Facebook group there's a lot of amazing people in there.
Oh my God. Oh my God. There's amazing people on my Facebook Live in the morning.
Yep.
I mean, on my Facebook Live today, Pat Hazel was on my Facebook Live today. Pat Hazel, and I say, oh, hey, Pat, how's it going? People don't know he wrote for Seinfeld. All of the American Express commercials that Seinfeld did after Seinfeld went off the air, Pat Hazel wrote every one of them.
Oh, really?
Yeah. You think Seinfeld writes his own stuff?
No, but I didn't know who it was.
Now you know. But Pat
Was he on the
Hazel
Tonight
also
Show
knows how
too?
he also knows how to teach comedy. Yeah, he had a Broadway show. Great guy. I mean, just an amazing family guy. And somehow, through the luck of the draw, we've become friends.
That's awesome.
And Doug Wing was on the show today. Doug Wing's family invented and produced, manufactured Little Giant Ladder.
Yep.
What the hell is he doing on my little show? And the answer is, if you make friends over a 20 or 30-year period of time, and those friends respect who you are, they'll come on just to say, hey.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And people from all over the world show up.
Yep. Yep. Well, what is the one? Oh, go ahead.
Keep going. No, you go.
I was just going to say, what is the one biggest message you'd like to get out to our viewers today that could impact them immediately?
If you're doing something that you love, it's going to be so easy to get back in the groove.
Okay.
If you are doing something that you don't love, it's going to be harder to get out of bed in the morning because you're already defeated before you start because you don't love it.
Yeah.
So I want you to think about that. But I also want you to think about, I gave you the model for reconnecting or connecting. What's going on? How can I help? Take notes, make an action plan, take action. If you do those things, I can't help you any more than that. I've just given you the Vulcan mind meld verbally. And you have to take it in a way that you accept it, are willing to try it, and put it into action of some kind.
Yep.
If you believe it to be true, then you take the action. That's the best thing I can tell people, other than wake up in the morning and start your day with yourself. Start your day with some positive interaction with yourself. I read, write, prepare, think, create. Those are my 5 things that I do in the morning. And then I post. So I'm dealing with something in social media every single day. One of the things in the New Normal course is to double your connections. Something that everyone can do.
Yep.
But it's a time investment, not a money investment. Social media is still pretty much free.
Yep.
Oh, you can take the advanced LinkedIn stuff and, whatever, but ostensibly, LinkedIn is free.
Yep.
And so is Facebook, and so is Twitter, and so is YouTube, and so is Instagram. Go talk to people, take pictures of your kids, show the movie where the kid whacked you in the nuts with this baseball bat.
The one that's happened to everyone.
Oh, exactly. Exactly. And do it in a way where it's, you totally love it. You
Yep.
totally love it.
Oh, that's good advice. That's good advice. Well, I want to personally thank you for your time today, Jeffrey. What is the best way for my customers to get in contact with you?
I would go to Gitomer.com and hold on, I'll just put it Gitomer.com.
Yep, I can post it on once I post this.
Yeah, just go to Gitomer.com and go to the newnormalcourse.com. Done. That's all you need to do. If you go to the New Normal course and you buy it, you will win. I don't want to sell it. I don't want to sell it. I want you to come to my Facebook group in the morning and see what other people are doing with it and how it's impacting them. That's what I want you to do. Because salespeople right now, they're in the shitter.
Yep.
And they're trying like hell to figure out what to do. And the New Normal course tells you exactly what to do. And people are taking it and loving it. Yep. And you can be your own referral source for it because you know the value of it. You know the value of an easier, smoother path to recovery. That's the whole deal. Your salespeople have to realize they're not in this alone, and they don't have to do what a panicked boss tells them to do because the panicked boss needs sales.
Right.
So today's not about making 40 phone calls to people you don't know. Today is the day to reconnect with people who already love you, find out how you can help them, and they'll refer you.
Right.
That's the deal.
Good.
So that's my advice from the blue sky.
Well, again, I want to thank you for your time today. Also, for everyone out there, we look forward to you becoming one of our customers. And let's start by calling or texting us the new normal, and we can get you more information and help get you signed up. Until next time, be successful. Cheers.